Hi everyone. I'm Mumu from Susan's family. Today I'm going to show you a new design, the Chinese Aesthetic series Frost Moon Cape. For this electronic tutorial, you can search for susud.com to access it. This cape includes a shawl and a hat. Let's start by learning how to crochet the shawl. The shawl is divided into the main piece, the edging, the lace trim, and the buttons in 4 parts. We will start from foundation chain and work back and forth. While crocheting, this creates an open work pattern. It is divided into section 1 and section 2. The stitches used include chain, double crochet, and single crochet. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet method. First, cast on. Take the corresponding yarn. Pay attention, the entire product is crocheted using 2 strands of yarn held together. You can take the yarn from both the center and the outer part of the skein and hold them together as 1 strand for crocheting. For convenience in watching, I will demonstrate with 1 strand of cotton yarn. For specific yarn, color schemes, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with the foundation chain. Hold the yarn with left hand. Hold the hook with right hand. Make a knot first. This knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten it. Now start crocheting the chains. Pay attention that the chains should not be too tight. For the exact number of chains, please refer to the chart. The stitch count for the sample is random. Everyone, take a look. This is what the beginning of the sample looks like after completion. Next, we will crochet the first row of section 1. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain for the double crochet. These 3 chains count as 1 double crochet, corresponding to the chain below. Then, on the 5th chain from the end, pick up the top half loop of the chain and the back ridge on the wrong side. Crochet 1 double crochet into these 2 strands. After completing it, continue picking up the 2 strands of each chain and crochet double crochets correspondingly. Keep going until you finish all the foundation chain. After completing the last double crochet, the first row is done. We will consider the side with clearer texture of this row as the wrong side of the entire piece. Place a stitch marker on the right side to mark it. If you don't have a stitch marker, you can use a paperclip or safety pin instead. Continue with the second row. Start with 3 chains. Turn counterclockwise. Crochet 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Pay attention when crocheting on the wrong side. The stitch is located at the top left. Do not crochet into the stitch under the turning chain. Continue with 1 double crochet. Then crochet 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Three chains and 1 double crochet. We will treat the stitches worked into the same stitch as group 1. Continue with 5 double crochets. After completing, crochet 1 group 1, that is, crochet 1 double crochet into the same stitch. 3 chains and 1 double crochet. Group 1 is completed. Continue with 5 double crochets correspondingly. For this row all the way down, alternate crocheting 5 double crochets and 1 group 1. Continue crocheting in this manner. After completing the last group 1, crochet 3 more double crochets. Pay attention to the last double crochet. Crochet it into the turning chain of the previous row. Pick up and crochet the top 2 strands of the turning chain. After completing this, the second row is done. Now move on to the third row. Start with 3 chains as a turning chain. Turn your work. First, correspondingly crochet 2 double crochets. Then crochet 3 chains for transition. Skip 1 stitch below. In the chain space of group 1 from the previous row, work 1 single crochet. Continue with 3 chains as a transition. We will treat the single crochet and chains as group 2. On the left side, skip 2 stitches. Correspondingly make 3 double crochets. Below, in the space of group 1, correspondingly crochet 1 group 2. On the left side, skip 2 stitches. Correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets. Below, in the space of group 1. Correspondingly crochet 1 group 2. Take a look. This row continues by crocheting group 2 correspondingly on group 1 all the way down. In the middle, correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets. The double crochets are separated by 2 stitches from group 2. Continue crocheting according to the pattern. After completing the last group 2, on the left side, skip 1 stitch, correspondingly crochet 3 double crochets. Pay attention to crochet the last stitch on the beginning chain. After completion, the third row is done. Now move on to the fourth row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chain. Turn your work. Pick up stitches and correspondingly crochet 2 double crochets. Then crochet 2 double crochets in the chain space. Use 3 chains as a transition. Crochet 2 double crochets in the left chain space. Continue by crocheting 3 double crochets correspondingly on the previous row's double crochets. Move to the next group 2 position. Correspondingly crochet 2 double crochets. Three chains and 2 double crochets. Continue by picking up stitches and crocheting 3 double crochets correspondingly. This row involves crocheting double crochets and chains according to group 2. Crochet double crochets 1 by 1 corresponding to the previous row's double crochets. Repeat this process until the row is completed. Finally, crochet the corresponding double crochet on the beginning chain. The fourth row is now complete. Continue with row 5. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. Turn the work over. Pick up stitches and crochet double crochets 1 by 1. When you encounter a chain space, crochet 2 double crochets correspondingly. Follow this method until the row is completed. After finishing the last stitch, row 5 is now complete. You can refer to the chart to check the stitch count. For rows 6 to 7 ahead, crochet double crochets evenly. Everyone can refer to the pattern to complete it. After finishing row 7, I will use a sample to explain rows 8 to 9. The crochet technique for rows 8 to 9 is similar to rows 2 to 3. The only difference is the number of double crochets in the beginning, ending, and the middle. In the both side of group 2 that near the edge of our 9. Just use one stitch as an interval. For the rest of the positions, both sides of group 2 have a 2 stitches interval. Everyone refer to the chart to complete these 2 rows. After completing row 9, move on to row 10. This row is identical to row 4. Start with 3 chains. Turn the work. Then pick up a chain space and work 2 double crochets. Three chains. Work 2 double crochets in the next chain space. Crochet double crochets into each stitch position evenly. Follow this method to finish the row. Pay attention, after completing the last 2 double crochets in the final chain space, work 1 double crochet into the turning chain. You can locate the third chain from bottom to top. And then continue crocheting. This completes row 10. Rows 11 through 13 are similar to rows 5 through 7. After finishing row 11, you can check the stitch count. You will see that, except for row 1, section 1 is crocheted in a sequence of 6 rows. Increases are made at the group 1 position. For the remaining rows, they are also crocheted in a sequence of 6 rows. The increase points of each sequence are staggered from each other. Starting from row 20, the increase points with group 1 are either crocheted normally or require one space between double crochets. Between adjacent group 2 in row 21, you also need to crochet a group 1 for increasing stitches. When crocheting, pay attention to the number of stitches between double crochets and single crochets at the beginning and end. Continue increasing stitches in the following rows. For the specific method of increasing stitches, refer to the pattern. Pay attention to the changes in the number of stitches between stitches. Remember to check the stitch count when crocheting the even row of double crochets. Everyone, follow the chart to finish the remaining part of section 1. During the crocheting process, you may encounter situations where the yarn tail is not long enough and needs to be joined. Tie a double knot with the yarn tail that needs joining and the new yarn. Continue crocheting. Place the knot on the wrong side. The yarn tails from joining can be left untreated for now. They can be woven in along the texture of the wrong side later. This is the method for joining yarn. If you encounter a knot in the middle of a skein, cut out the knot. Then join the yarn using the method shown here. That concludes the explanation for section 1 of the main piece. Next, let's learn about section 2. Take a look at the finished product. Section 2 is divided into 7 segments from right to left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Each segment is crocheted back and forth and decrease at the junction. The new stitch used is DC2 tog. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Before crocheting, divide into segments first. Tidy up the right side of the piece facing up. Here I use a sample to demonstrate. The pattern position is not for specific reference. The main focus is on demonstrating the method. Start from the end with the yarn tail on the right side. Count the number of stitches corresponding to the first segment from the left, and separate with a stitch marker. The stitch count for the sample is random. Refer to the pattern for the exact stitch count. Continue from the left side of the stitch marker. Count the number of stitches corresponding to the second segment. Separate with a stitch marker. Refer to the chart. Mark the remaining sections accordingly. After completing, pay attention to check the number of stitches. Now the sections are marked. Start crocheting the first row of the first segment. Here, I'll demonstrate with a sample. Then continue crocheting with the yarn from section 1. Start with 3 chains as the turning chain. Turn your work. Then crochet the corresponding stitch pattern according to the chart. Keep crocheting until there are 2 stitches left before the stitch marker. The stitch count is smaller for this sample. The stitch pattern is random. When you reach the corresponding position, work 1 DC2 tog. First, start an unclosed double crochet on the left stitch. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. 1 unclosed double crochet is now done. Continue with another unclosed double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. The second unclosed double crochet is now done. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. That completes the DC2 tog. The braid on the upper right is the stitch. That's how you complete the first row. Continue with the second row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chains. Turn the work. First, make a DC2 tog in the first 2 stitches on the left side. Start with 2 unclosed double crochets. Then yarn over and draw through all loops. The DC2 tog is complete. Continue to crochet according to the chart for the rest of the row. Once done, the second row is complete. Move on to the third row. Start with 3 chains as the beginning chains. Turn the work over. Refer to the pattern and start crocheting. Crochet all the way to the end, leaving the last 2 stitches unworked. When you reach the corresponding position, work 1 DC2 tog. Leave the final turning chain position unworked. That completes the third row. For the next 2 rows, continue decreasing at the boundary side. Do not crochet at the turning chain position on the side where you're doing the DC2 togs. Everyone, refer to the chart and finish crocheting it. Once the last row is completed, fasten off the yarn, secure it with a chain, stretch the loop, leave a 5 cm tail and cut the yarn. Pull tight. Everyone, take a look. This is what the first segment of the sample looks like when it's done. Move on to the second segment. Place the right side of the fabric facing up. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn at the far right stitch of the second segment. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The joining is complete. Then, make 3 chains as the beginning chain. Continue with a DC2 tog. Place the yarn tail above the hook, and weave it in as you go. Next, work the corresponding stitch pattern starting from the left stitch. Keep crocheting until there are 2 stitches remaining before the stitch marker on the left. When you reach the corresponding position, make 1 DC2 tog. For the remaining rows, continue working DC2 togs on both sides. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Everyone can refer to the pattern and complete the crocheting. For the remaining sections of section 2, continue joining the yarn at the corresponding positions on the right side. Then work back and forth. Decrease at the corresponding positions. Fasten off after completing each section. Refer to the previous demonstration. Refer to the pattern and complete it. Up to this point, the crocheting of the main piece has been fully explained. Next, we will learn how to crochet the edging. Take a look at the finished product. The edging is crocheted back and forth on both sides of the main piece. As well as where the beginning chain is. And leave buttonholes. The new stitches used are SC2 in 1 and reverse single crochet. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with the first row. Place the main piece with the right side facing up. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample. Section 2 of the main part has omitted some segments. Please refer to your actual project for accuracy. On the last row of the last segment, at the left double crochet stitch, insert into the gap to join the yarn. The sample is for convenient viewing. A different color yarn is used for demonstration purposes. First, make 1 chain as the turning chain for the single crochet. The single crochet beginning chain doesn't count as a stitch. Then make 2 single crochets into the double crochet stitch. Weave in the yarn tail together at the same time. Then pick up the left side beginning chain and correspondingly make 2 single crochets. Continue to pick up the left side double crochet and make 3 single crochets. This way, 7 single crochets are made for every 3 rows on the edge. Below, follow this pattern to finish crocheting the main piece's side. The exact number of single crochets, you can also adjust according to the actual situation. Just ensure that the fabric lays flat. When you reach the starting point of the main piece, in the gap between the beginning chain and the double crochet, pick up the chain and work 1 single crochet. Then insert into the gap between the double crochets and make 1 single crochet. Continue picking up the gaps and work single crochets correspondingly. After finishing the last gap, the starting position is complete. The sample here skips some sections. Next, on the edge, work single crochets according to the previous edge pattern. Continue until the entire edge is complete. Gather all the yarn tails together. After completion, the first row is done. Now start on the second row. Begin with 1 chain as the beginning chain. Turn your work. Start from the bottom stitches. Work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Keep going until you finish this row. After completion, the second row is done. Now continue with the third row. Before starting, mark the buttonhole positions first. Take a look at the finished product. There are a total of 5 buttonholes. The topmost buttonhole is about 2 centimeters away from the foundation chain. The bottommost buttonhole is about 3 centimeters away from the edge of the main body. The 3 middle buttonholes are evenly distributed. You can mark the buttonhole positions using stitch markers according to the actual situation. In this sample, the number and position of the buttonholes are random. After marking the positions, start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Turn the work over. First, crochet corresponding single crochets. When you reach the stitch marker position, crochet 2 chains first. Skip 2 stitches below. Then continue working single crochets correspondingly. This way, a buttonhole is created. Repeat this process to make buttonholes at the marked positions. After completing the last buttonholes chains, continue with 6 single crochets. You'll roughly reach the foundation chain position. Make a SC2 in 1 here. That means making 2 single crochets in the same stitch. The SC2 in 1 is now complete. Continue working 1 single crochet into each stitch. Keep going all the way down to finish the foundation chain section. Once done, make another SC2 in 1. Then keep working 1 single crochet into each stitch correspondingly. Keep going until you finish this row. Once done, the third row is now complete. For row 4, return and work single crochets correspondingly. When you encounter a chain space, work 2 single crochets into it. Row 5 is just working single crochets 1 to 1. Everyone, refer to the chart to finish these 2 rows. Below, I'll demonstrate the last row using a sample. Place the fabric with the right side facing up. Make sure the yarn tail is on the left side. Work this row on the right side. Start with 1 chain. Then work 1 reverse single crochet. Insert your hook into the first stitch. Work 1 single crochet. That completes 1 reverse single crochet. Slightly enlarge the loop next. Skip 1 stitch on the right. Work 1 single crochet in the following stitch. The second reverse single crochet is now done. Continue to stretch the loop. Skip 1 stitch and work 1 reverse single crochet. Proceed with skipping 1 stitch, and working 1 reverse single crochet all the way down. Finish this row using this method. While crocheting, you can adjust the insertion position according to the actual situation. Ensure the fabric stays flat. Achieve an attractive edge texture. After completing the last stitch, stretch the loop. Leave a yarn tail of about 10 centimeters and fasten off. Insert the darning needle. Sew a few stitches along the edge to secure it. Ensure the edge texture is attractive. Then weave in the ends along the backside texture. You can weave in a few more stitches if needed. Trim excess tail. That concludes the edging tutorial. Next, let's learn about the lace trim. Take a look at the finished product. The lace trim is crocheted from right to left along section 2 of the main part. After completing the first row, divide the remaining rows into 3 sections. Crochet each section separately, and then sew them together to secure. You will need to switch colors while crocheting, and use several new stitches. All of them are marked on the chart. I won't go through each one here. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crochet technique. Let's start with the first row. Place the main piece with the right side facing up. Section 2 should be at the top. Here, I'll demonstrate using a sample. In this sample, the second and sixth segments of section 2 are omitted. Please refer to your actual project for accuracy. Locate the last row of the edging on the right side. Pick up 2 strands of the edge to join the yarn. Make 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same stitch. Weave in the ends together. Continue picking up stitches along the side, and work 5 single crochets correspondingly. When you reach the position of the first segment, first work 1 single crochet into the beginning chain. Then pick up the stitches and work single crochets correspondingly. After completing the last DC2 tog position, pick up a space on the side. For the first 4 rows, work 2 single crochets per row correspondingly. If you encounter yarn tails, continue weaving them in. While crocheting the edges, pay attention not to make the stitches too tight. For the last row, start with 1 single crochet. You can check the stitch count. On the side, work 9 single crochets. Then work 1 SC3 tog. First, on the edge of the last row, work 1 unclosed single crochet. Insert the hook, and draw the yarn through. That completes 1 unclosed single crochet. Next, at the joining position of the starting chain on the left side, work 1 unclosed single crochet. Insert the hook, and pull the yarn through. The second unclosed single crochet is done. Finally, on the starting chain of the left side, work another 1 unclosed single crochet. Lastly, yarn over and draw through all loops. That completes the SC3 tog. Below, pick up along the edge and work corresponding single crochets. On the first row's starting chain, work 1 single crochet. For the remaining rows, work 2 single crochets correspondingly in each row. Once completed, this junction will be finished. Below, continue picking up stitches and working corresponding single crochets. The starting chain next to the DC2 tog does not need to be worked. After finishing the left side of the DC2 tog, continue working single crochets on both sides of the junction. First, work 2 single crochets in the first 4 rows. In the last row, start with 1 single crochet. Then, in the same position, at the joining point of the starting chain on the left side, and on the starting chain, work 1 SC3 tog. First, work 3 unclosed single crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. The SC3 tog are now complete. Continue working single crochets symmetrically on this side. Once completed, this junction will be finished. Take a look at the crochet pattern for this row. Work single crochets corresponding to each stitch position. Work single crochets correspondingly on the edges of the junction. In the middle, work 1 SC3 tog. Continue crocheting downward using this method. Pay attention, do not crochet on the turning chain next to the DC2 tog. After completing the stitch positions, move on to the edging of the main part. Pick up the edge and work 5 single crochets. After finishing, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. Tighten it. That's how you complete the first row. Next, you need to crochet the lace trim in 3 sections. The left side section, the middle section, and the right side section. The left and right here refer to the sides when the cloak is worn, since one end of the extending parts on both sides has an identical crochet method to the 2 ends of the middle section. I will demonstrate using the middle section as an example. Please watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting technique. Row 2 continues on the right side. Locate segments 3 through 5. The sample here demonstrates the centered 3 segments. Start on the left side of the 5th segment. From the single crochet above the DC2 tog at the edge. Count out the corresponding number of stitches to the right, refer to the chart for the exact stitch count. The sample stitch count is random. On the first stitch on the right, take the corresponding yarn and join it. The sample colors are random. Before joining the yarn, leave about 60 centimeters of tail for sewing. Then crochet the corresponding number of chains. After completing, secure with 1 chain. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail before cutting the yarn. Tighten it. This completes the starting chain for the left extension part. Next, locate the 3rd segment. Start on the single crochet above the corresponding DC2 tog on the right. Count out the corresponding number of stitches to the left. Join the yarn on the first stitch on the left. Pay attention before joining the yarn. Reserve about 60 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Then refer to the pattern and crochet the corresponding number of chains. After completing, the starting chain for the right extending part is done. Next, start crocheting the 2nd row. First, make 1 chain as the turning chain for single crochet on the 2nd to last chain. Pick up both loops of the chain and work 1 single crochet. Then continue with 6 single crochets correspondingly. Next, work 1 SC2 in 1. Continue alternating between 7 single crochets and 1 SC2 in 1. After completing the last single crochet, you'll reach the stitch position of the first row below. First, work 1 half double crochet at the joining position. Then pick up stitches and work half double crochets correspondingly. When you reach the corner, you can work the half double crochet slightly looser to ensure the fabric lays flat. When there is 1 stitch left before the SC3 tog, Work 1 HDC3 tog below. First, work 1 unclosed half double crochet on the left stitch. Yarn over once. Insert the hook. Pull the yarn through. 1 unclosed half double crochet is done. Then skip 1 stitch. Work 1 unclosed half double crochet. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. The second unclosed half double crochet is completed. Work 1 more unclosed half double crochet on the left stitch. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. HDC 3 in 1 is completed. The braid on the upper right is its stitch. Continue to work half double crochets evenly. Pay attention to make the corners slightly looser. Keep going until you reach just before the next SC3 tog. There is 1 stitch remaining. You've reached the corresponding position. Work 1 HDC3 tog. First, work 1 unclosed half double crochet on the 2 stitches of the left stitch and the left side of the SC3 tog. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops. HDC3 tog is completed. Continue to work half double crochets evenly. Keep going until you reach the joining position on the left. After completing the joining position, continue picking up the 2 strands of the chain, alternate crocheting 7 single crochets and 1 SC2 in 1. Keep going until you finish the chain position. When crocheting the last few single crochet stitches, make sure to weave in the yarn tail at the same time. After completing, leave a yarn tail of about 5 centimeters and cut the yarn. This completes the second row. Continue with the third row. Take the corresponding yarn, locate the starting position of the second row, join the yarn on the first single crochet stitch. Start with 2 chains as the turning chain for half double crochet. This counts as the first half double crochet, then pick up each stitch and work a half double crochet correspondingly. Keep crocheting until you reach the position just before 1 stitch of the next DC3 tog. Weave in the yarn tail as you go. When you get to the corresponding position, on the stitch on the left side, and the 2 stitches on the left side of the DC3 tog, work 1 DC3 tog. After completing, continue working half double crochets correspondingly. Keep going until you are 1 stitch away from the next DC3 tog. When you get to the corresponding position, skip the stitches for the DC3 tog. Work 1 DC3 tog. After completing, continue working half double crochets correspondingly. Keep going until you finish this row. Pay attention to weaving in the yarn tail at the end. When finished, fasten off the yarn. That completes row 3. Next, we'll work on row 4. Take the corresponding yarn. Join the yarn in the stitch on the left side of the starting chain from row 3. Then make 2 chains to start. Correspondingly make 2 half double crochets. Then chain 1 as a transition. Skip 2 stitches below. Crochet 3 double crochets on the left stitch. Make 2 chains between double crochets for transition. After completing, consider the stitches worked in the same stitch as group 3. Chain 1 as a transition. Skip 2 stitches below. Matchingly crochet 3 half double crochets. Continue with 1 chain for transition. Skip 2 stitches and crochet 1 group 3. After completion, chain 1 for transition. Skip 2 stitches and crochet 3 half double crochets. Take a look at the crocheting pattern of this row. There is an interval of 2 stitches, alternate between group 3 and 3 half double crochets. All transitions are with 1 chain. Continue crocheting in this manner. Keep crocheting until there are 3 stitches left before the HDC3 tog on the left side. Upon reaching the corresponding position, perfectly complete 3 half double crochets. You can crochet a little looser at the corner if the position doesn't match the chart when crocheting. You can adjust the number of stitches between the half double crochets and group 3. Ensure that the stitch pattern at the junction matches the chart. Then, on the left stitch, at the HDC3 tog stitch, and on the next stitch on the left, crochet 1 HDC3 tog. After completion, correspondingly make 3 half double crochets. Then chain 1 as a transition. Continue to skip 2 stitches and crochet group 3. Follow the previous pattern going downward. Keep crocheting until there are 3 stitches left before the HDC3 tog on the left. When you reach the corresponding position, skip 2 stitches on the right side of the HDC3 tog below. Crochet 1 HDC3 tog. After completion, refer to the chart. Continue following the pattern downward. Finally, after completing 3 half double crochets, cut the yarn. Row 4 is now completed. Move on to row 5. Locate the starting chain position from the previous row. Pick up the top of the starting chain, and join the yarn with a slip stitch. Pay attention to leave about 80 centimeters of yarn tail for sewing. Then chain 2. Next, work 1 DC2 tog into the left stitch and the first stitch of group 3. Then chain 2 as a transition. Then work 1 DC2 bobble in the left chain space. Start with 2 unclosed double crochets. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. The DC2 bobble is now complete. For convenience in explanation, we will simply call it a bobble stitch from now on. Chain 3 again for the transition. Work another bobble stitch in the same chain space. Continue with 3 chains as a bridge. Work 2 bobble stitches in the left chain space. Chain 3 as a transition between them. After completing, take a look. We will consider these 4 bobble stitches and the 3 chains in the middle as group 4. Continue with 2 chains for the transition. Work 1 DC3 tog below. Into the left stitch of group 3. The middle stitch of the 3 half double crochets. And the first stitch on the left side of group 3. Work 1 more unclosed double crochet into each of them. Yarn over and draw through all loops to finish. The DC3 tog stitch is now complete. The braid on the upper right indicates the stitch count. Continue with 2 chains as a transition. Crochet 1 group 4 in the chain space of group 3. After completing, chain 2 as a transition. Below, into the left stitch of group 3. The middle stitch of the 3 HDC, and the first stitch on the left side of group 3. Work 1 DC3 tog into each of them. Take a look at the crocheting pattern for this row. Work group 4 in the corresponding position of group 3. Crochet 1 DC3 tog into the corresponding position above the half double crochet. There are 2 chains as a transition between each section. Continue working downward using this method. Keep going until you finish the group 3 position before the HDC3 tog at the boundary. When you reach the corresponding position, after completing group 4, chain 2. Then work 1 DC5 tog. Start by working into the left stitch of the group 3 on the right side. Work 1 unclosed double crochet. Then, on the 7 consecutive stitches below, work 1 unclosed double crochet every other stitch. That's a total of 3 unclosed double crochets. Finally, on the first stitch of the left group 3, work 1 unclosed double crochet. Yarn over and draw through all loops once. This completes the DC5 tog. Continue with 2 chains for transition. Below, continue crocheting downward following the previous crochet pattern. Keep crocheting all the way to the junction before the DC3 tog in group 3. When you reach the corresponding position, work 2 chains as a transition. Then move on to crochet 1 DC5 tog. Refer to the chart, first, at the beginning and ending stitches of group 3 on both sides, and the 3 stitches below with an interval of 1 stitch. Work 5 unclosed double crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all loops once. This completes the DC5 tog. Continue with 2 chains as a transition. Then follow the pattern to complete this row. After finishing the last group 4, work 2 chains as a transition. On the left stitch of group 3 and the last 2 HDC stitches. Work 1 DC3 tog. Then leave an 80 cm tail and break the yarn. This completes row 5. Finally, crochet row 6. Start by joining the yarn on the rightmost stitch of the previous row. Start with 1 chain as your beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same position. Then work 2 single crochets in the chain space of the 2 left chains. Chain 3 as a transition. We will count the stitches worked in the whole as group 5. Continue working group 5 in the left chain space. After completing it, work group 5 in the next 2 left chain spaces. After finishing, work 1 single crochet in the hole on the right side of the DC3 tog. Then work 1 group 5 in each of the 4 chain spaces on the left. After completing, work 1 single crochet in the next chain space. Take a look at the crochet pattern for this row. Work 1 single crochet in the chain space on the right side of the DC3 tog. All other chain spaces will have group 5 worked in them. Continue working down following this method. When you encounter the position of 5 double crochets worked together, work 1 single crochet in the chain space on its right side correspondingly. Refer to the chart and finish this row. At the end position, work 1 group 5 in the last chain space. After completing, for neat edge texture, pick up the side hole, and work 1 single crochet. Chain 3 as a bridge. Work 1 single crochet on the side for the next row. Then break the yarn. Weave the yarn tail along the texture of the wrong side. You can weave it a few more times if needed. Trim off the excess tail. Continue weaving in any remaining loose yarn tails. Just complete this step. This completes the 6th row. The middle section of the lace trim has now been explained. Next, I will demonstrate how to crochet the left and right sides using the finished product. For the extension position on the left side, the technique is similar to the ending part of the middle section. The only differences are the joining position and the number of starting chains. Join the yarn and start with a beginning chain. Remember to leave a long tail at the start, then crochet from the right side toward the left. Make sure to join the yarn by referring to the chart at this end. Ensure the edge texture is neat and tidy. The stitch pattern after the 3rd row matches the corresponding row of the middle section. Remember to leave a tail at the end of the 2nd to last row. For the extension position on the right side, the technique is similar to the starting end of the middle section. The only differences are the joining position and the number of starting chains. Before starting the foundation chain, remember to leave a tail. After casting on, turn and crochet directly to the left. When crocheting, note that you don't need to leave long tails on both sides of the lace. Everyone can refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete these 2 sections. After finishing the lace, the next step is to sew the extended part to the main body. I'll demonstrate using a sample. Start by sewing one side of the middle section. Make sure to tidy up the extended part. The fabric may curl naturally. Roll it into a natural spiral shape. The edge of this side's curve should be close to the boundary of section 2. You can also adjust the curve according to your preference. Secure it roughly with a stitch marker. Then, thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Follow along the 2nd row position, picking up loops from the wrong side of the lace edge, and sew them together with the loops on the surface of the main body. Be sure not to show any sewing traces on either the right or wrong side. Don't pull the yarn too tight. Keep the fabric flat. Continue sewing downward. Pay attention to adjusting the position while sewing, to prevent sewing it crooked. After completing, bring the needle to the wrong side. Tie off and weave in the ends neatly. Then, thread the yarn tail from row 5 into the sewing needle. Sew along the outer edge of row 5 to attach it to the main body. Be sure not to sew the chains of row 6. Let it curl naturally. Also sew the first row of the ending position together. After sewing securely, tie a knot and weave in the yarn tail to finish. Everyone can now complete this step. This completes the sewing of one side of the extension part. For the other side of the middle section, and the extensions on both sides. Sew symmetrically using the same method. Make sure the edges of adjacent extension parts stick closely together. Follow the boundary of section 2 for symmetrical sewing, on both left and right sides. Refer to the previous demonstration. Sew the entire lace trim completely. That concludes the explanation of the lace trim. Finally, sew on the buttons. Take a look at the finished product. There are a total of 9 buttons. Sew 5 buttons onto the side of the main piece, without buttonholes along the crocheted edging. Sew 2 buttons at the boundary where the lace trim extension meets of the front section. Use the yarn from the last row of the lace trim when sewing. Make sure to sew through the last row of stitches. Sew the last 2 buttons on the wrong side, below the boundary of the middle part of the lace trim. Use the yarn from the crocheted main piece to sew them on. Please watch as I demonstrate the exact sewing method. Next, I will demonstrate using a sample how to sew the button onto the crocheted edge. Take the yarn from the crocheted main piece and thread the needle. Place the main piece right side facing up. Match up the edges on both sides. On the opposite side of the buttonhole, along the crocheted edging. Sew on one button. Pay attention to center the button position. After completing, tie off the yarn tail and weave it in. Then fasten the button. Sew the remaining buttons using the same method. That concludes the explanation for the buttons. The shawl has also been explained completely.